Most people believe this: an ISA is tax-free, a pension is taxed, so the ISA must be better. And on the surface, that makes sense, but as a chartered financial planner, that way of thinking can quietly cost you thousands of pounds over time. And I'm going to give you a few things to think about during this conversation, because it's not just whether something gets taxed, it's when it happens, how it happens, and what happens before that. And if you missed that, two people can save the same amount, do the exact same thing, and still end up with completely different positions. Not because one was smarter, just because one understood how the system works. And to be honest, most people don't. There's actually research showing that only a third of people in the UK are confident with basic financial concepts. So this isn't a niche issue, it's common. And it shows a lot when we talk about ISAs and pensions in conversation. People say, well, I've already paid tax on my ISA, so it must be better. It sounds logical, but it's only half the picture, because pensions work differently at the start, and that changes everything. If you strip it right back, every investment has three stages. Money going in, what happens while it's invested, and how you take it out. With an ISA, you earn first, pay tax, and then invest what's left. With a pension, it goes in before tax, and then you get tax relief added. So you're not starting from the same place. £100 into an ISA might be £80 after tax, but that same £100 into a pension could be worth £125. Same person, same effort, but more money from day one working, and that's where people get this comparison wrong. They jump straight to the end and say pensions are taxed, ISAs aren't, but they are comparing £80 with £125 when it's growing, and that's ignored. So it's not a fair comparison. So you've got to look at the whole thing. Now, that doesn't mean pensions always win. It depends on your tax position. If you're paying higher tax while you're working and less in retirement, pensions can be really efficient and effective because you get relief on money going in and pay less on it going out. But if your tax rate is the same or even higher, then that advantage really isn't there. And that's where ISAs can be way more useful, because in retirement, your state pension already uses most of your personal allowance. So when you're taking income from a private pension, a lot of it can be taxed straight away. And this isn't rare or unusual. Even the FCA have pointed out that a lot of people don't fully understand how pensions are taxed in the first place. So people are making long-term decisions without really seeing the full picture. Each option gives you something different. An ISA can give you lots of flexibility, but a pension can give you scale and tax advantages. So the main takeaway here is this: stop thinking in terms of ISA versus pension or pension versus ISA. Start thinking of how money is treated at each stage, going in, growing, and coming out. And then ask yourself, what's my tax position likely to be later on? Because that's what actually determines which one is better for you. The biggest mistake isn't picking the wrong product. It's not understanding how the system works at all. And once you see it properly, you don't really look at ISAs and pensions the same way again. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Drop any comments below. Happy to answer.